Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films, back with some more Wild Eye reviews for you guys. And, man, Wild Eye never ceases to amaze me with some of their titles. Some of them are just so bad they're bad, some are so bad they're good. Other ones are just actually just fucking good. I don't know. I was actually quite surprised with these two titles here. Didn't expect anything at all from either one of them. Especially as we all know, Wild Eye likes to give you cover art that isn't exactly what the movie provides. And it's the same case with these, but nevertheless, I was not disappointed. If I can talk today, it'd be awesome. Before I continue on, guys, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. Hit the drop down on the video, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff if you would, please. Yeah, I'm not going to dive too much into that. You know, it'd be cool if you guys did. If not, then, you know, it's all the same. So, anyway, we'll start off with one here called Red Spring. Okay? As you see here on the cover, you have like these alien-type vampires. I thought that's what it was going to be, like an army of people fighting them off. You got people on like SUV-type, all-terrain, like Jeep-looking things. And some military here on the front. Absolutely nothing to do with this fucking movie at all. You do have one guy who's like military, I guess, but everybody else is just civilians, and you have none of this whatsoever. I don't know why they put this on the cover, but on the back here, and this really threw me off as well, you have "We're their food and we're running out." Okay, to me that should be "We're their food and they're running out," not "we're." But hey, you know, I don't make the taglines. Has a Day of the Dead 85 type feel to it. Not so much. I guess there's like an underground bunker I'll get to here in a little bit. New spin on Vampire Tale, impressive for a lower budget movie, a fresh entry into the undead genre. Those I can agree with, but I don't know about the Day of the Dead 85. That's like one of my favorite zombie films. Probably my favorite zombie film of all time. And it's supposed to do with vampires, not zombies, even though the vampires in this are kind of zombie-esque. They're fast, they use guns, they communicate with each other. They don't so much talk, but they drive vehicles, all that stuff. I'll read the short synopsis to you guys just for shits and giggles here. Following a worldwide apocalypse, a group of friends battle against an army of mutated vampire creatures while traveling across the country to find loved ones. But as their ammo and food runs low, so does their patience for each other, and it's not only monsters they'll have to contend with before the sun rises. Not so much of that going on. I didn't find a whole lot of conflict between the characters, maybe a little bit towards the beginning of the film, but this movie is basically just a group of survivors, and you're not really told what happened to get to this point, which I really hate that in movies. Like, I don't know, at least go back at some point and like show some news footage or something of what exactly happened. That would be great. But you're just kind of thrown into after everything happens, and you have, like I said, this group of survivors. And along the way of their travels, they travel in this van so they can keep moving at all times and not be tracked down by these vampires. And then eventually along the way, they bring some woman on board. And after that, this one kind of shit hits the fan. They find this, well, I'm not going to say find, but the woman they pick up, her father's house has this underground bunker. And that's like really the only time you really have conflict between the characters is when they're deciding whether or not to stay in this bunker or to keep moving. And eventually they decide to go ahead and stay in there. And after that, there's not really any conflict between them. You know, they all pretty much group together to fight the vampires and everything, and without any kind of hesitation or argument. And after that, you know, they're kind of stuck down there for a while. They have enough supplies to last them for a while, but not for a real long time. Over the course of time, one of the characters gets shot by one of the vampires. Like I said, they're using guns in this movie, which, you know, whatever. They then try to go get antibiotics and stuff for this woman, and that's when things really get bad. And at a certain point, like, the door's left open, the vampires come in, start taking some of them out and everything. I'm not going to go too deep into detail because I actually do want you guys to check this one out. I really had a good time with this one. It is a little bit longer. I think it was like, it says 104 minutes on here, but I think it was actually a little bit longer than that. And you do have nothing really in the way of features. You have captions and trailers and chapter selection. That's really it. So not much in the way of bonus features. I didn't really mind it once I got past the fact that they were driving and using weapons and everything. I thought the main vampire actually looked pretty cool. He reminds me of somebody from another film. I can't quite place it. But it was cool that they had like this leader and everything. The effects weren't too bad whatsoever. I actually enjoyed most of the kills and everything. But I just had a good time with this one. I actually started to care about the two main characters. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but you do have two people who kind of band together, and they're the ones going out and looking for the antibiotics for the woman and everything. And, I started to actually care about the characters and everything, and they did do some, good maneuvers to evade the vampires at certain points. Their main thing is the vampires track them by their scent and everything. So, they try to cover up their scent using mud, hiding in the leaves, everything like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, overall, guys, I really enjoyed this movie. Especially for a Wild Eye movie, I definitely rate this one higher than most of the rest of the ones I got in this group of movies. If you guys are at Walmart, Family Video or something, you guys see this, $10 or less, I definitely recommend grabbing this one, guys. If you're fans of vampire movies, zombie movies, everything like that, then I think you guys will definitely enjoy this one. Like I said, I didn't expect hardly anything from this movie, and it definitely surprised me. So that is Red Spring. It says on here it was from 2017. Not sure when the DVD actually came out. I forget what IMDb said for the release, but I know with a lot of Wild Eye movies, they're usually movies that are kind of completed at a certain point, and then they're looking for a distributor or something, and Wild Eye will end up picking them up a year or two later. So yeah, I know I'm talking really fast. I'm trying to make these reviews really short and just kind of give you guys my overall thoughts on it, and not go too deep into the stories because I know these aren't movies that a lot of people have seen. So again, Red Spring, highly recommend this one, guys. And it was actually shot pretty well. A lot of their releases are shot like they're just using their phones or something. This one actually came in pretty good. The acting overall was actually really good, especially for this type of movie. Really enjoyed this one. So moving on to another one that completely misleading by the cover of this. I expected this to be like a dark, scary type movie. Of course, I didn't really read the taglines either first, but if you look at the cover of this is Return of the Scarecrow. He's got this pitchfork, he's got this sickle. It took me a while to remember what this was called. I actually had to look it up online to remember what the fuck these things are called. It's just, yeah. Because you don't see these a whole lot, but yes, it is a sickle. When the sun sets, he rises, you see his face I'll try to throw some pictures up over this way or whichever way. I think I'm the opposite. But you see his face is all kind of like melty looking and everything. No, he doesn't have a pitchfork. He doesn't have a sickle. He doesn't exactly look like that either. Not too far off the look, though. Welcome to the Field of Screams. On the back here, you do have same thing as that, just scene selection, captions, and trailers. Sit back and relax and have some fun. Unique and interesting. Recommended. For some of the quotes here. So I didn't see the sit back, relax, and have fun part. This is definitely a horror comedy. Comedy becoming overdoing the horror part. You do get kind of a backstory on this character, how this Scarecrow came to be. I actually really liked this little not animated, but it's kind of like a puppet way of telling the story of how the Scarecrow came to be. This family was killed and everything because they thought they were evil and all this and like witchcraft or whatever the fucking case was, and they buried him real close to like this cornfield, and they seeped into like the Scarecrow once they died and everything, like their spirits or some shit seeped into the Scarecrow and like possesses the Scarecrow. And you kind of start off with this movie with two guys digging, and I had no clue what the fuck they were digging for. You're just kind of thrown into a guy digging in the filled, and another guy just kind of standing there giving him shit, and then the Scarecrow attacks, and that's when we're led to, I believe this one goes between a few different segments of time as well, from like the 80s, 90s, and then like present day. Some decent kills there at the beginning. Overall, the kills weren't great by any means, but I still had a lot of fun with this movie. The main part of this movie is when you get two characters that dress up as scarecrows to go try to scare off these people from out of town who are out camping, and you're even treated to the classic slasher movie montage, not montage, but the classic, slasher standard of being warned by the old man not to go camping out in these woods. You're even treated to some of that. It definitely pays homage to slasher flicks in the 70s, 80s, things like that. And once you get the two characters together, the character of Virgil mistakes the Scarecrow for his buddy. I can't remember his name. As you guys know, I'm terrible with remembering names. If I don't write the shit down, I'm not going to remember. Maybe I should start taking notes again, but I don't know. It just seems like a waste of time to sit here and take notes unless I'm going to go really in depth about the movie. So you have Virgil and the main Scarecrow going out, scaring these people off, and he just thinks he's having a good time, and Scarecrow's making all these like weird noises to him and scaring everybody, and people are getting ready to try to have sex, of course, and he does his little grunt thing and scares them off, and the Virgil guy's just like laughing it up and loving it. They go to some people's houses, scare them. You do have like this police deputy guy who's in charge while the sheriff is on vacation or whatever the fuck he's doing. He's not really out of town or anything. He's just at home doing nothing. And of course he's getting all these phone calls saying, the Scarecrows came to my house, or I've seen the Scarecrow, and he's just not believing it. And of course, at a certain point, he sees this Scarecrow, and he tries to stand his ground, and that doesn't go over too well. But the townspeople kind of gather up and try to take the Scarecrow out towards the end, and you get a lot of them going up with different weapons and things like that. I'm not going to give it away, but there was one part in there that had me just rolling the way this guy attacked him. I'm going to leave that for you guys to see, because I was just surprised at it. It's like definitely tongue-in-cheek and knew what they were going for. Again, another one I had a really great time with, guys. If this sounds interesting to you at all, if you guys love horror comedies, I think you really get a kick out of this one. Don't go in here expecting anything scary. It's just like it says on here, sit back, relax, and have fun. That's exactly what I recommend as well. Just go into this one trying to have a good time, and I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Overall, the acting is what it needed to be for this film. Not great by any means, but like I said, for this kind of movie, it was exactly what it needed. Another one I highly recommend. I didn't show the inside of the other one, but I believe it's like this one, where it's pretty much just the same as the cover. Again, I don't know if I'm going to end up putting pictures up on one of these sides. I'm making this review pretty short by my standards. It looks like it's going to be under 20 minutes for sure. I don't want to give a lot of weight to these movies, because I want you guys to check both of these out. It's not very often that I highly recommend Wild Eye movies. I usually say stream it first or something. But, there's been a few I definitely, Velocipaster, Carousel, all that stuff are definitely high recommends. And these two right here fit right in there for me. Again, not expecting much. This, again, says from 2017, 74 minutes. It was pretty short, and I don't feel like it needed to really be longer than that. You do get, at least in this one, you do get some backstory of how the Scarecrow came to be and everything like that. Everybody in the town kind of knows this shit's real, but they're just kind of keeping it hidden and everything, which is pretty normal for these kind of movies. So, yeah. Again, guys, high recommends on both of these. If you guys have seen either one of these movies, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And what you guys think of Wild Eye altogether. I love working with Wild Eye. I never know what to expect from these movies. And I'm always excited to get the boxes from them with just a stack of random movies and just start going through them. Because sometimes like this, I'm pleasantly surprised. And, just an awesome company to pick up these movies which otherwise would have never been seen or something. You know, definitely one of my favorite distributors, and I'm not just saying that because I get shit free from them. I'm saying that because I really feel like without companies like this, like I said, we never would have seen these films. And I give nothing but respect, even if I don't like the movies, I give respect to the filmmakers going out and doing something they're passionate about and actually getting a movie made. I mean, granted, it's a little easier nowadays than it used to be back in the day with all the digital stuff. You know, you can just make a movie on your phone pretty much and distribute it yourself offline, or online, I guess. So it doesn't take as much, but anybody who goes and does this. Oh, one thing I will say about Return of the Scarecrow, and it really bugged me. So I don't know if it's because this movie wasn't supposed to be taking itself seriously or what, but this is the first film I've ever seen in my life, and you guys know I watch a lot of fucking movies, where you see the lighting in the setting. I mean, most of this movie, 90% of this movie takes place in the woods at night, in the cornfields and stuff like that, and you actually see the lighting in the ground that they're using, because obviously it's supposed to be nighttime, but if they shot it just in the dark, you wouldn't see a damn thing. So, of course, you got to have some lighting to light the set. But you actually see these little lights in the field, like, obvious. So, I don't know, again, if that was intentional because they know what kind of movie they were making, or if that's all they could afford to use. So, either way, it doesn't really take away from the movie, but it was just really noticeable. It kind of bugged me. But, anyway, yeah, high recommends on both of these guys. Check your Walmarts, check your Family Videos. I mean, like I say, you can usually pick these up for $5 or 2 for $3 at Family Video, depending on how long they've been out. And, you know, give them a watch, guys. If nothing else, check them out on, I don't have Prime myself, but I'm sure they're on Prime or some shit. Yeah, that's going to do it for this review, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace, love, happiness to everybody. See y'all next time. Bye.
I like them bitches talk that dirty South slang. I like them bitches, they be walking, shake that dirty South thing. They be them hoes up on that cornbread.